You might be guilty of spiritual adultery. I can't think of anything in marriage that would be harder to handle than to find out that your husband or your wife is cheating on you. But today, in Ezekiel Chapter 23, God says to a number of people, you have been unfaithful to me. You're cheating on me with other gods. In Ezekiel 23, he likens Samaria and Jerusalem, two cities, to two adulterous sisters, Oholioah and Oholibah. And these two sisters are pretty loose. I mean, they're finding lovers in all kinds of different places and, prostituting themselves. And he says, that's you. These two cities were going after foreign gods, gods of other nations, and ironically, these other nations would actually conquer them. You'd think if you took their gods, maybe you'd be friends and make friends. It didn't work that way, ever. In fact, they always conquered them after they took their gods. They were conquered by the city they took the gods of. This is seen in the black obelisk of Shalmaneser III when you have Jehu, and this is back in 840 BC. He's prostrating himself in front of Hazael of Damascus, asking him for help, worshiping him, and of course then they're conquered by that king. This is true in our age. We don't have blocks of wood and idols of that nature, but idols of the heart are just as serious. They're seen in our desires. What do you as a person, want the most? What are your goals? Do they reflect goals that are relational to God? Your relationship with Him, your knowledge of His Word, your ability to be used by Him. Are those your goals, or are they just completely selfish? Your possible idolatry will be seen in what you rely on. Do you rely on yourself, trust in people, or is your faith and your trust in God? You say, oh, I trust the Lord. Well, this is going to be seen then in your prayer life. If you really think you need God, you'll find yourself on your knees praying all the time. Not just once, but all throughout the day. How long during the day does it take you to say, oh, you know what? I really need the Lord for this. Is it midday? Is it the end of the day? Or do you begin the day with, man, I need you, Lord, and do you keep coming back to that? That's the proof that you're relying on Him. If you don't have that, you're not relying on Him. You're probably relying on something or someone else to get you through. He says it's adultery, spiritual adultery. And of course, the easiest and ultimate spiritual adultery is just sin in our lives. Any sin in your life that you're unwilling to turn from and repent from, that's spiritual adultery. In this passage, God says, because of these two adulterous sisters, they're going to be judged. You can translate that to your life, my life, any life where there's spiritual adultery taking place. Do a quick survey of your life. Look at your desires, look at what you rely on, and ask yourself, is there any sin in my life that I've not repented from? Because that is spiritual adultery, and God demands that we turn from it, or unfortunately, there's judgment.